as we go live here, I'm now realizing that I've never told Mike that I have this, and he might be noticing that I have something extra as adorned to my regular set of necklaces.
No way.
I got this when I went to the Comic-Con where I met Stan Lee, and when you ordered his autograph in his big production boxes for all the stuff that you got these gift baskets with a bunch of stuff in it. And this is like legit as legit can get, like made by professional companies, and they just put random stuff inside of these for people to get. I made out like a bandit on that gift box when I got that. There was like easily $300 worth of stuff, but this was the one. This thing's legit.
That is amazing.
And yeah, I wasn't sure how well it was going to show up on camera because this thing hangs low, but yeah, this is the first time I've ever actually worn it. So I figured now was as good a time as any.
Well, for those who don't know, the episode title for this week's Marvel's What If is What If Doctor Strange lost his heart instead of his hands? Now, as the title implies, an accident occurs which results in the death of Stephen Strange's girlfriend, Christine Palmer. And this results in probably one of the darkest stories that we've seen in the MCU.
Mm-hmm. I wasn't expecting Groundhog Day.
Yeah, like Groundhog Day, Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah. I meant to bring this up in the last episode, and I forgot that we're starting to actually see. Is it Uatu? Uatu? You're actually starting to see Uatu in the episodes. Like you saw him in the background, like when Fury was driving in the SUV across the canyon. And I forgot to bring it up. I wanted to.
And I love how they're depicting him.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way his eyes and his figure or the silhouette just kind of blend right into the night sky.
Mm-hmm.
It's just gorgeous. And this is the first episode where, and of course it's Stephen Strange who gets to interact with him. But this is the first time that, you know, he actually gets to engage, not interfere, but just engage with the inhabitants of the universe.
Yeah. And I wasn't expecting in the fourth episode for them to have him actually talk with someone. Like, I thought it was a nice touch where he's just like, what the hell was that? And I thought this was as far as it was going to go. But it didn't.
If nothing else, this proves that they didn't just hire Jeffrey Wright because they like his voice.
Exactly.
I mean, like, for narration. No, he's not just the Rod Sterling. He is he's playing a character.
Absolutely. He's getting his money. He's getting his worth out of that paycheck, or earning his paycheck, as I should say. And their obsession, outright obsession. I am convinced now, absolutely convinced, that Shuma-Gorath is going to show up in that Multiverse of Madness movie.
I think this episode just kind of confirms it.
Because they show that damn octopus again, but won't show what the tentacles are attached to.
Feige likes to tease.
Yeah, he does. Either that or he's been watching hentai. But no. Before we gush a lot about this episode, because we're going to gush a lot about this episode, remember when I said how everything looked gorgeous in all of these?
Yeah.
This is the first one that had something that didn't look gorgeous, and in my opinion, kind of looked bad.
Okay.
The smoke coming off of the people.
Hmm.
Or the gooey, whatever that was. Didn't look great, in my opinion. It looked like it was kind of awfully animated.
I kind of see, I can see where you're coming from with that.
Yeah.
Something felt, it how should I put this? And honestly, it's the only dent in what might otherwise rival my favorite episode so far.
Yep, no, I would agree. Everything else looked great. It was just that where I was kind of like, that really sticks out. But yeah, it's did Cumberbatch voice this?
Yes.
Okay.
So
yeah.
In this episode, everyone is back. Everyone from Cumberbatch to Rachel McAdams.
That one shocks me.
Really?
Because wasn't there something about how she wasn't too overly impressed?
I thought I heard that, but
or like wasn't too into it.
as I'm reading her her Wikipedia, she'll also be back for in the Multiverse of Madness.
Okay, all right.
So as far as like we know, everything is right as rain.
All right, that's fine. I like Rachel McAdams, so that works.
Anyway, so it's Cumberbatch, it's McAdams, Benedict Wong is back, Tilda Swinton, and Ike Amati, I guess, plays the librarian, and Leslie Bibb is, who is she in this?
Oh, their characters were there. This only had like 4 characters in it. Who the hell was she?
Oh, she must have been Christine Everhart. Yeah, I couldn't pick her out of the episode, but you know, okay. as far as like the main, you know, the main people, yeah, it's great to hear them back in the roles. And Wong's not going anywhere. We're gonna see Wong in almost everything, I imagine.
Wong is quickly becoming the Coulson.
Yes. I know, like, we saw him in Shang-Chi. We're going to see him in No Way Home. I literally hope he is the Coulson of Phase 4.
He's perfect. He can get everywhere faster than Coulson, too. He just has to open up the slinger and be like, God, I have no time for the speech. Just get in the portal. We'll talk after. Just, God, get in here. You could tell he's having the time of his life doing this stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So we're all good there. So, but yeah, this was very, again, this reminds me of and you don't watch Supernatural, correct? Or haven't?
I've literally only watched the Scooby-Doo crossover.
Okay. This specifically reminds me of Mystery Spot, which is a random one-off episode, which is one of the first episodes I ever watched of Supernatural. When a buddy of mine, Dylan Gullickson, was introducing me to the show. He introduced me to 4 random episodes for the 5 seasons that were out at the time, and that was one of them, where the brother Dean Winchester keeps dying when they go to this Mystery Spot place. And then he dies like 300 some odd times in that episode for the count. But it's just to the point of stupidity where like, and when you find out later in the episode that the trickster god Loki
Of course.
As he is referred to as that time. He's something else, but he's referring to himself as the trickster. I don't remember if he's exactly Loki, but he refers to himself as a trickster. And it's like at first they go to investigate this mystery spot, and then he gets blown away with a shotgun by the owner because they scare him. And then they tie him up just so he doesn't blow him away, and then he dies another way. And then like, all right, we're just gonna eat breakfast, and then whatever. And then he chokes to death on the bacon. And then like, no, we're not going out to breakfast. And then he slips and falls in the shower. And then like, we're not showering, we'll go to death later. And then he all of a sudden cuts his throat with his razor. Like, just they go out of their way that no matter what, he's dying. They will introduce a new factor to how he dies if they try and come up with it. And that was this version of Groundhog Day to a T. And it's I was just like going into the restaurant, the dude with the gun, like he doesn't even go and get her, and then she dies in her building.
Remember when I said the last episode was dark?
This had a weird Beauty and the Beast moment in it.
Yeah.
What this really reminds me of, actually, this shockingly reminds me a lot of it now that I'm thinking about it. Do you know anything about the video game Shadow of the Colossus?
Vaguely.
Okay, in Shadow of the Colossus, this guy named Wander is tricked into, he takes his girl that he loves, or you assume that's what the relationship is. The whole thing, the only thing that talks is Wander to this entity, and then whatever, they're very vague about it, and they're games that are known for not having a lot of dialogue, and you interpret what you want. Like, they don't even speak an actual language. It's reversed echoes and like all sorts of weird stuff. But anyway, he's tricked into killing these colossi, and this guy in this being will fix this girl for him. And he's accumulating all this power, and he starts getting progressively more and more messed up as he kills all these colossi, and this weird black smoke goes into him. And then eventually he finds out he released the ancient being Dorman, and he takes over Wander's body, and he becomes this giant hulking beast that looks like a smoke version of what Strange turns into.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of scary because then she eventually wakes up after the people that like her father comes in and like takes him down. She then wakes up and like never gets to meet him because of his screw up. Or she meets him later as a kid. There's a really weird ending to that game. But that part is pretty spot on for where they got from this. But it's like, yeah, there's a lot of weird parallels from a couple of spots that this draws from. But yeah. This is a weird one where not a lot happens, but a lot happens. Like centuries he's in there.
Apparently. I mean, he's got the Agamotto. He has all the time in the world.
Yeah. That's just the weird way that is shown is like the guy is aware that he spent centuries in there. How old is that guy?
He's gotta be, I don't know, a couple hundred.
Yeah. But he absorbs everything. They start off where he literally absorbs a Keebler elf. Like, they were bordering on copyright infringement.
Pretty much.
For that first one. And I'm like, did you mean to be that spot on? But, and then it just gets progressively more and more into just Warcraft monsters and everything throughout that. And it's just to make himself more powerful, and the whole turning into all of them at the end thing. Man, he looked messed up. That was nuts.
I've said before that I wanted to see a Shang-Chi anime series, and this episode like especially in the creature designs, they take a lot of anime influence, like anime and that very 90s, like that 90s Disney Renaissance animation.
Mm-hmm.
Like they went all out with this episode.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of making each one of these feel different, like very different in tone. Especially like the last one was dark and this one was dark, but they felt like two different tones of dark.
Mm-hmm. And maybe I'm still riding the Shang-Chi high, but I think I'm really starting to like Marvel's version of the supernatural.
Yeah, they've barely tapped it, but you're gonna have a movie with Wanda and Doctor Strange together in it.
Some shit's gonna go down.
Yeah, you're gonna see some weird stuff. They're gonna have some things in there that they could just throw anything they want into those multiverses or whatever they do. They could. That is just a free ticket to put a bunch of weird shit in there. And yeah, that movie's gonna be weird. Oh boy, that movie's gonna be weird. And that's by Sam Raimi, right?
Yep.
That is gonna be, man, that's gonna be a movie and a half.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh, but yeah, it's weird talking about these because we kind of get over almost everything that happens in them within 15 minutes. But yeah, it just this is one thing where I think they nailed Strange's face the best out of anyone that they've done so far. Outside of Fury, they got pretty well. I forgot to mention it, but the Hulk in the last one looked like an actor that was not Mark Ruffalo, but it's an actual actor that I've seen in movies, but I couldn't put my finger on who it was. It looked nothing like Mark Ruffalo. It looked exactly like another actor, and I can't think of who it was.
You'll probably send me a screenshot and be like, I found him.
It will. I'll spend some time this weekend if I can think of it, but it'll hit me like a sack of bricks as soon as we end this. But yeah, it was just really good.
Yeah. One thing I do want to point out is there's at least one moment where the evil Doctor Strange does kind of take a Mephisto form.
Yeah, he kind of
does. Just watch. The internet's going to run with it.
See, we were right because he's got herpiter. Well, like, and the weird part is, like, again, you had the evil half of Doctor Strange win. I was not expecting that she split him in half.
The Agent One is smart.
Yeah, that was
she knows what's
twist. Up. That was a cool little twist. I was not expecting that at all. So that was pretty great. And it makes me wish I had more of the Ancient One, but I'm okay if that's fine because they've got more in their catalog of people that they can have come up, and they can always bring her back in the. It's like, because you're here, I'm going to assume that I'm a splinter in time, from another dimension. No, the end of the world, but keep talking. Why are you here? Oh man.
It's the end of the world. Oh God, what did I do?
What did I do? Exactly. Guy, what happened? Why? I set it down and I didn't do the bad thing. Why are you here? Because the other part of you did. Other part of me. What did you do? That was not the smartest or simplest thing to do. Why did you do it? Yeah.
And how cool was the fight between these two?
Yeah, it was nuts. It's kind of like why they need to make some more animated movies. Because give or take, they could do this in movies, but it's a lot cheaper to do it in animation.
Mm-hmm.
so they can make some of this nutsoid shit and not need to blow the bank apart again. Need to remind you that they make an Avengers movie worth of money every month now.
Yeah, just as an aside, Shang-Chi is about to break the Labor Day weekend box office record. It's projected for 60 million.
Holy shit.
And you know, given the asterisks that we're still in the middle of a pandemic, that's even more impressive.
That's insane.
And you want to know the previous record?
What is it?
30.7 million for Rob Zombie's Halloween back in 2007.
Holy shit. Well, then again, they kind of Labor Day is known for being a second January for movies. It's never a great weekend.
Yeah, it's practically a ghost town.
Yeah, because everyone's outside doing stuff on Labor Day. Now, this one has the weird one of where they went Shang-Chi in theaters. Disney Plus distribution. Away over there. So I'm waiting to see the flood of people going, gee, people will go to the damn theater if you don't put it at home. This is going to be a whole different kettle of fish.
We'll probably talk more about that on an episode of Capes, but
yeah,
for now, just to reemphasize, Marvel is doing okay. So if I have this right, Phase 1 was just kind of like here are the Avengers. Like you got to fight a bad guy. It's Loki. Okay.
Yeah.
Loki was the first person they fought. So what? Phase 2. Okay, we're getting more character centric. Some stories are going to be a little bit darker, and we end on Age of Ultron, which sets the stage for Civil War, which kicks off Phase 3, which splits up the Avengers, makes them vulnerable for Thanos to come and wreck house. And now in Phase 4, we've conquered aliens. We've introduced magic. Like we fought Nazis. We've done all this stuff. Now Phase 4 is when things are allowed to get weird.
They've introduced 3 things. Space. You saw Nick Fury's out with Sword.
Yep.
Just out there, and they re-emphasized Sword again in freaking WandaVision. Multiverse and mystical shit. We have 1 billion times the amount of threats that we did in the first one, and we haven't even exited the first phase.
Yep.
We're 2 movies in. This is ridiculous.
Buckle up, guys, because things are about to get nuts.
They're about to?
Well,
good Lord.
They're about to get more nuts. This was just the tip of the iceberg.
Yeah, it's ay, yes, mio. I freaking just
But bring things back to this episode. I gotta ask, A, how much of the original Twilight Zone do you remember? And B, like, have you ever seen this many downer episodes in a single first season of an anthology?
Okay. Glad you clarified an anthology, because I would again bring up Supernatural. In an anthology, I can't say that I've seen enough to where I can attest to that, but this dark? No.
Yeah, like the only other example of a dark ending for an anthology that I can think of is, and we're going to do a fresh takes on this, so I don't want to completely spoil it, but one of the characters in Infinity Train Book 3 meets their doom in a pretty, for a kid's show, pretty gruesome fashion.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, that's a.
But
yeah.
Ending the entire universe, that honestly kind of takes the cake.
And then as he just goes, punish me and save her. Nah, dude, you fucked up. See ya. Sorry. Sucks to suck, bro.
Oh, I love Uatu. Now I have to ask, is he like I'm vaguely familiar with the Watchers, but he's one of many, right? Like,
you saw the Watchers in freaking Guardians 2.
That's right.
Yeah. And then it's like he's supposedly one of them. Like they kind of try to make Stan Lee out to be one of them because he's just like, and then I was this guy that delivered a UPS package. I don't remember what he all said, but they kind of make Stan Lee out to be a Watcher in that one. But it's like, yeah, it's I'm sorry. How are you phrasing that again? I kind of lost track for a second there.
That like he is like one of many of
the
what?
Yeah, he just seems to be like head honcho kind of. Or he's just our guide through this. He's the guy who happened to like Twilight Zone.
And it's like, what if I made my own version?
Mm-hmm. What if I was really bored and wanted to have a TV show? Yeah. He's one of many, and I almost wonder if what they do with season 2, if we're gonna get a different Watcher.
Oh God.
Like a more spiteful one, or like I don't know, more spiteful. We just had him in this episode. A
more hands-on.
A more hands-on, Watcher. Or we might get more of a jokestery one, or I don't know. We could get one that's more hands-on all the time, or one that's only hands-on when it befits him. Like they could have tying threads throughout a season of what ifs.
What if? No pun intended.
That's the word of the day, kids.
What if season 2 isn't like a straightforward what if, but what if like each episode was like a battle world leading up to Secret Wars?
Oh, it could be. That could be something.
Because, you know, if you're gonna introduce the multiverse, you gotta start thinking big.
I would love to see the you know how you always have those murder boards?
Yeah.
In everything. It's it reminds me of freaking I'm not a huge fan because I think that they try a little bit too much towards crass humor. But and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, that freaking thing of Charlie Day going, got that Pepe Sylvia, and he's got the big board going, he's like, it's there. Like, I just imagine Kevin Feige's got one of them the size of a wall inside of an aircraft carrier storage in his house that's got all of this. And he's just like, all right, I can X that one off. We finally did that. We haven't gotten there yet. But man, I'm really proud of myself. It's just like, he's got all this stuff set out, and he was just like, all right, I nailed that one. Now I get to do whatever I want. Mystic Arts, fucking multiverse, aliens, they're going to let me do what I want.
We're getting Celestials in a couple months.
Exactly. And my biggest thing I have to deal with is apparently Avi Arad with Spider-Man. Yeah, that's gonna be another whole kettle of fish. That's gonna be again aliens. that whole thing's just gonna go wide open. You thought it was gonna be with Guardians. Guardians was still pretty tame in the grand scheme of things, but this is gonna be a lot harder to keep track of this stuff, but that's part of the fun. So there may be a lot, but at least it's contained in a fashion of which it is easily consumable.
Indeed.
Not like I just heard that they're freaking ending Batwoman for the next season because I don't know. DC, you had a lot of good stuff going in the Arrowverse that you kind of lost your way. I love you. I do. You're my baby. I'll always be a DC kid.
Same.
But, man, you kind of just... There's a poop on the floor and no one wants to address it. You just kind of want to scoot it to the corner and just put a new toy in front of the kids. Nothing else happens at this point with the CW TV shows.
Oh God, if that doesn't accurately describe like everything.
It's like,
and I love what's on air too. Don't get me wrong, but
it's like Batwoman shit the bed. Superman and Lois, look over there. Every time they're like, oh man, that one's gonna go down the tubes. What's the next one? Stargirl. We're gonna start Stargirl. I swear to God. I love them. But
so it's like, so you gonna apologize to Ray Fisher? DC fandom.
Exactly. It's just like, look at the. It reminds me of James Willems from Funhouse likes to have this thing where it like people try to play stupid with people in a movie where it's like, no, look at the pretty over here. Look at this. Nope. Don't worry about that detail. It doesn't make sense. Just look at the magic light. Just keep your eye over here and don't worry about that. You'll enjoy it better. Just keep looking over here. All right. So don't even have too much DC talking here, but yeah. So yeah, I guess we could get on out of here. We kind of covered everything that is to get out of it. I wouldn't mind, like, if that whole library thing is something they're actually going to bring up in movies.
It's too specific a location to have never seen again.
Because, like, you found out about the true origins of Wanda as the Scarlet Witch from what's the name of that book?
Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue.
Is it? I can't remember if it had a complicated name or if it had a simple name. But anyway, like there's gonna be more books like that, and it's just that anything that yeah. But anyway, they're gonna bring up locations, and I think ancient stuff like that, just they're gonna have more locations where it's just like only I know how to go there, so we can hide there at some point, type of things, like I brought up in the Shang-Chi review.
Yep.
But yeah, again, outside of the little snafu with the goo smoke thing, again was really good. The animation's top notch.
I might need to watch this episode one more time just to confirm my thoughts, but as of now, it's literally just the goo that pits it like a hair below episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
But all things being equal, 2 and 4 are tied, then 3, then 1.
Yeah, I would put 2. Yeah, it's pretty much it. 2 is a bit more above it for me, but 2, 4, and 3, then 1. Yeah, I would agree. And yeah. Okay, no, I said that right. Okay, but yeah, I would agree in the rankings. How many episodes are there of What If?
9.
I
think there was going to be a 10th episode, but I think just like because of scheduling and everything, they're bumping that up to season 2.
Okay, that makes sense. That's fine. But all right. Yeah. I guess we can get on out of here. Mike, where can everybody find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Captain K42. You can check out my quick thoughts on letterbox.com/CoachK42. And you can find me in all the various Facebook groups just at my name. You can check out Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and Twitter at Ren Pop Culture. Look for us on Podchaser. Listen to all of our podcasts on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Music, wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. Need escape? So do we.
Absolutely. And you can find me everywhere at Organoid Zero. And we will see you guys next time. See ya.